It's been a journey, and it's up to me, myself, and the staff now to do it again. But everything's there to facilitate that.
I think that's another thing that I don't know the players anywhere near as well as a couple of lads do. I'm probably at best on nodding terms with a couple of them. But the one thing that always strikes me is they're just such a fundamentally decent bunch of blokes, and that really comes across. And I think that matters. And that matters in all the situations they found themselves, I think. But that really comes across, I must admit. That's quite noticeable.
It means more than anything. I've been in some terrible dressing rooms as players. I really have. I've been in some desperate dressing rooms where you get beat 5-1, but the guy that scores the one goal puts a picture up on Twitter, another one. And I'm thinking, I want to strangle him. I really do, because you have not put a shift in for the team. You don't care about the team. You don't care about the club. And that is one thing I will always stress to anyone that walks within our dressing room door. That badge on your chest means more than anyone in this dressing room. You're no one's bigger than that, and that grit and determination. And it's only a Hastings thing as well. Whenever I've played closer to home in Brighton, Sussex clubs, I've namby-pamby, but Hastings boys, like Sammy Adams, for instance, he's one of my best teammates. What a selflessness! Everything's about the team. Everything's about his teammate. And Jack Dixon. The same again. Even in a night out, they'll be the first ones. Pat, you all right? You need a drink? And once again, it goes a long way in life in general. And if you surround yourself with good people like that, you're rarely going to go wrong. So
quite often you got Kenny on the line as well, shouting just like you do.
Well, Kenny,
he could be he's unbelievable.
He's incredible,
especially with the youngsters. He's really, really good.
Yeah, I have to pull him back at times, Kenny, bless him. But once again, the Hastings spirit, and I think going forward, that is always something that I want to try to keep intact with the team as long as I'm, at the club. I think it's very important to have local lads playing for their local team at Hastings, because there is another dimension to them, that's for sure.
Yeah, you could see the Saturday night, you could see the unity and the team spirit in the lads when they got together and battered that mannequin. That was teamwork of the highest.
It was all for one and one throw, I think. Yeah, Finn decapitated him, and then Stoney hit him with a few body shots. that was that. So, honestly, they're absolutely on point and fantastic people.
Mm. And for those younger ones, a point that you were saying earlier, the young one, talented ones, excellent potentials for the future, but wouldn't you rather stay with this club, with this crowd, with this team until maybe you're a bit more mature, then go and play second team football for a bigger club? I'm always wary. There's a lot of, you get a lot of agents sniffing around, and the thing that annoys me is the agents don't know what business they're selling. So, for instance, TC, he's not a centre midfielder. He's been the best right back for the second. Do they know that is his position? I'm not sure, but I don't know if they come to games to watch. So I don't know if most of them sometimes don't even know the product they're selling. So straight away, that's a thing. And second of all, you can watch an under-23 game. It's nowhere near the pace of a first team game. And I'm always, you'll see it even when I was playing, my brother was playing. Me and my brother were probably the slow burners, if you like. There was always people more talented than that. But without hard work, once again, without being humble, without being grounded, forget about it. You've got to have that in your game. And once again, that's my message to the youngsters. I get very annoyed when I hear some of the youngsters with agents. There's no need. When you're that age, the business can be done club to club. There can be a transfer fee. It's agreed and it's done and he's gone. But it's happened this year. There's been young players trialling around. They go on several trials. Nothing happens. Their confidence goes rock bottom, and you've got to build that player all the way up again. And
I'm very
hear
aware.
you though, Gaz, do they? Don't always hear
No,
them.
they'll say no. They'll see the big thing, but I really do hope they do listen to me because I've lived it and breathed it. Stoney has. I hope they listen to people like him because it's a very different atmosphere, a different environment, and I just hope that patience, it does get rewarded if it's done the right way. The player I sold properly for big money was Omar Bugel at Worthing. He absolutely ripped Ryman South East apart with goals, but they still was wary of the level. And then he done it again at Ryman Prem. He got a 30 grand move to Forest Green. No trials, just went straight there. That for me is the way it should be done.
Yeah.
And I hope it is the way it's done under this era, if you like. So fingers crossed they listen. Because I truly believe with John Meany as well and Andrew Brown, they're not going to receive better coaching. I really do believe that.
Yeah.
Stuff.
We always say that for other teams that come and play at Hastings, the average gate in this league is like 300 people or something. That to come and play at the pilot field when there's a minimum sort of 1,200 is a massive thing, and that for players to be able to do that, every other week, that's got to be worth something in itself, isn't it? To be able to, perform on that sort of crowd basis every week.
Well, yeah, once again, it's the identity of the club. It really is. The fans, the noise it makes, and it's a major part of our success. It is because, the levels, the motivation levels are already just a little bit higher maybe than other players get, someone like VCD, very talented bunch of players, but maybe they're slightly demotivated certain weeks because they've only got a small crowd. And I definitely do think it's a vehicle for success is the crowd we get, 100%.
I've said it on here before, Gaz. You're a player and an ex-player. You're a manager.
Yeah.
But it's all about the fans, isn't it? Players want to perform, and they're in the industry of performing, and they want to perform in front of fans. And to get the fans is what they want to play in front of.
Yeah, and the difference, and that's the thing I like about non-league football, is you've got that personal touch. If you're doing the business on the pitch, you come in, you have a pint, and you get a lot of pats on the back, and you don't get that being a Premier League player, do you? That's the thing about non-league. When you're doing well because people will tell you you're doing well, especially at a place like Hastings. So you're absolutely spot on, Malc.
Yeah.
One thing quick, actually, Gary, I wanted to ask you. You might not want to answer it, but what's your thoughts on the ground move? And I know it's not happening now.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you, Chris. A lot of my mind, I didn't really go much into it because, and I mean this, I was so driven to succeed, and you're constantly looking at opposition and what you want to do. So I have got a blurred opinion on it, to be honest with you. I'm absolutely gutted. I'm devastated because for the fans, maybe because I don't see no reason why to stand against it. I just don't understand it. You look at the crowd they're getting in. You're only going to make the community a better thing, or you're only going to enhance young people's lives. You're only going to get more people staying on the straight and narrow because they're involved with sport and things like that. So. And even me, I know mental well-being. If you're part of a team, if you've got that camaraderie, if you're meeting your mates, you're meeting your players in the dress, it's the best feeling in the world. People work all week for that release at the weekend. So I think Hastings Council have really not covered themselves in glory. But the flip side of that is the nostalgia of the pilot field. It's an old-fashioned ground. No, there's nothing like it. And so they're the things that we've got to lean on maybe to keep bringing the successes. Yeah, it's an old-fashioned ground and all that, but blimey, you can get some numbers at the pilot field. It's been a vehicle for success, as I've mentioned. So we have to keep going until the council give the green light to the other place. But I am shocked, and I don't understand it, Chris, to be quite honest with you, why you'd want to stand against something like that, where you've got so much poverty and happening in the world. Then why can't you be that little ray of sunbeam shining down on Hastings? I just don't understand it.
Cheers, Gary. George, you want to say anything? You've been quiet, mate. Not like you.
Yeah, could I ask, are there any games in particular you're looking forward to in the league league above? Any maybe scores to settle, or just nice trips?
I'll be honest with you. I haven't, I haven't really looked at it much yet, to be honest. But there's a couple of rivalries that hopefully we can fire up again. Folkestone and places like that.
Lewis.
Lewis is always that's another sort of old-fashioned ground, though, isn't it? The dripping pan. And there'll be numbers there and things like that. So I think they're the big games you look at, don't you? Lewis and the Folkestones of this world, and but I just got so much. What would you say, like burning desire to go again. It's good, really. It's great. It really is, and I can't wait to settle business in this league, and I'll probably have a couple of weeks off, but then they'll be back to work, and how we want to go about it next year, which I'm looking forward to.
Enjoy being champions first, Gaz.
Yeah. No, that's once again, you learn from experience when you're all saying that. I need to take that on board, and I think you are right, Mel. Life does go very quickly, and you do need to enjoy success. So
they're few and far between. So enjoy it while you got it. They don't come along that often. So
no, you're spot on, mate.
Yeah, Wills will be calling for your head in a few weeks, mate.
Yeah.
It's kind of strange. It's kind of strange because we've been champions for 3 years, and this is it's quite exciting to think that we're going into a league where we're not expected or not favourites to win every game, and it's going to be a real exciting challenge.
I think that's going to be. Yeah, that's going to be what. That's one thing I'm really looking forward to, is seeing really competitive games week in, week out. It may not always go our way, but that's going to be absolutely fascinating to see this bunch evolve and into the next league up. That's going to be really, really good. I think really quite excited about that.
I think we're around ourselves really well. Yeah, we come up against higher opposition, haven't we, in the last
the cup and that.
Done all right, haven't we? So
you think we beat Chippenham away, didn't we? And their National League South side.
There you go. Yeah.
We're much stronger than when we got, when we won the playoffs, like 2007. I'd say we're much stronger than that team that went up. So, and they struggled, didn't they, for a couple of seasons. And I've no worries in the next league up.
I mean, one thing I want to make sure everyone, I'm sure I'm not just speaking for myself here, but I've been absolutely buzzing since we've won. Yeah. No, I'm not on drugs. I have been at work, so don't. But just so you know, NHS. Well, yeah, we're just we all
a little store
the yellow pills, all of them, taking all of them, mate.
Taking the patients.
Yeah, right. Shut up, Leon. Right. But just so you know, I mean, I know you yourself and the players. I hope you realise, and I'm not speaking just for myself. Like everyone, we're on cloud 9, and that feeling. I think we get that when you come to the pilot field, that family feeling that's there. And I mean, we're just so happy and as you say, a moment of happiness in a world after time that's, full of, bad news, all that sort of stuff. I mean, it's been great, particularly with COVID and everything, it's been fantastic. It's definitely kept me going.
Exactly. I want to just say thank you to all you lot, every single one of you. I think you all went on Saturday. I didn't go because I can't go Saturday afternoons to away games. But, without all the feedback, no, I'm working. And with all the...
so was I.
All the feedback that's come in, from social media and stuff, plus Adam's radio, yourself, Chris, with the podcast, everything, it's just made it so much better this year. It's just... gone to different...
just on that note, John, and I'd like to ask everyone, is it with the pandemic, and and I suppose everyone else was the same as me, sort of each time it happened, each season, you thought, and it's certainly last season, where can't they do it points per game and this sort of thing, and we were all working it out, and don't you think that winning it this year has just felt a little bit better than it could have done winning it the first year? Because none of us knew whether we was ever going to play football again. None of us knew whether, sort of when it was going to restart, if it was ever going to restart, and all of a sudden, we would, like I say, points per game, where we were saying, well, we deserve it. We were that far ahead, and Then it was, no, we're not doing it that way. And we're looking at others saying, well, how come they went up and we didn't? And, you know, now you've changed the format of the leagues and everything like that. And then all of a sudden this one come along. And we've had a couple of weeks where we thought, oh, are we? We're not playing quite so well. And, you know, it's...
Corinthians away.
Do you know what? I think it's an important point you make, Mel, because I just think once again, you know, you've always got to look at what positive things have come from it. And I think, you know, them 3 seasons, maybe if we did go up sooner, maybe once again, the club may not have been quite ready off the pitch. You've given a young player like TC another couple of years of manning up, progressing his game, and James Hull all of a sudden coming along and these players. So I think it's a really important point you make. And I just think the club is really ready to go up, you know, off and on the pitch. And maybe it might have been differently. And to be honest with you, a big thing that would have been 100% would have been replacing me at a higher level if I was still playing. And thankfully, now I see someone like Finn O'Mara coming in, you know, that maybe the club wouldn't have had Finn O'Mara if we went up, you know, 2 or 3 years ago. And all of a sudden, you've got a centre-half and a potential skipper of a club for maybe the next 10 years. So I think it's always really important to look at what positives have maybe come from it. And football is it's a game of timings. It really is. You know, you look at myself. You know, I was playing at the start of the year. I'm a manager. It's been a real strange transition, but once again, timings. You know, it might not have happened. It wouldn't have happened. You know, if we went up with Ags. And that's why I'm always thankful for Ags bringing me to the club and, you know, him departing. But then I've got to be really thankful for Darren Burney, Peter Sherlock and Billy Wood forever trusting me to hold it together and do what we've done. So it's been a funny 3 years. It's been a funny world for the last 5 years. But when you do succeed like we have done, it makes it all worth it. And in a weird way, do you know what? The club might be better, you know, going up as we have done this year, on and off the pitch. So
and that's why I say enjoy. You know, I saw Craig 2-3 years ago. You know, when we were sitting down in his kitchen talking about are they ever going to? Who's died? Has he died? I thought. Talking about, you know, sort of when they're ever going to play again. You know, he couldn't get out to training. He couldn't do anything. He was just eating, you know, because that's all anyone done through the pandemic was just eat, because he couldn't go out. And, you know, and then so there was down times and working out, they might do, you know, points per game and this type of thing. And then you see him Saturday, you know, really enjoying the moment, if you see what I mean. And that's what I say, enjoy it, because it's so far between.
Yeah. Well, that's what choked me up, actually. I was all right. And then I saw Stoney and I just thought, bloody hell, I've shared a pitch with the man for the last 3 years, and I started welling up. And then I've got Louise looking at me saying, bloody hell, man, up, Gaz. But you know, I saw Stoney and I just thought, bloody hell, you know, he's been a big friend and a big player next to me. And then all of a sudden he's played under me. And I looked at that's, you know, it all started hitting home about, you know, what the journey we've been on and the success that we've had. And, you know, if you look at our winning, like the games that the team has won in the last 3 years, the clean sheets, I'd love to see how many clean sheets we've kept in the last 3 or 4 seasons. It's been one of a kind, and I'm just really glad to have just put that cherry on the top, and to the era needed, you know, to be rewarded for, and it has done that, and that's something I'll always look back with great fondness. That's for sure.
And you were saying about your dad earlier, you know, times Craig's come off, you know, when he's you know, conceded a goal and things like that, you know. And he's moaned about, if he hadn't done that, all you got to do is clear it, you know. I said, Craig, it's a goal. You know, you come off, you won 4-1, you know. He's gone, we still let a goal in, you know. And I said, you're 34, you know, like, what are you worried about letting a goal in? You know, it's just... Yeah,
no, it's also, you know, it definitely extends to families as well, you know. There's, for someone like Sammy Adams, you know, the guy's won a league now, and... That makes me more happy than all the other things, really, that someone like him, the career he's had for Hastings, the appearance he's made, he's going to be lifting the league trophy with Jack Dixon, 2 Hastings local lads. that for me, I said it in a newspaper interview. That's just special for me.
You can't get any more local than those two.
I can't top that. And I'd happily not even lift the trophy just to see them two do it, because they deserve it, and they're good old muckers. So that'd be brilliant to watch.
Excellent. Smithy, you want to say anything?
It's been amazing listening to you guys. You've asked it all, and just echo everything everyone said. And thank you to Gaz and the boys for this season. The roller coaster we've all been on together, and it has been, as much as the players are together, the fans are together, and we're all together with the players as well. It's been amazing.
Brilliant. Well said, Smithy. No, it's been. There is a great. I think the boys do buzz off it. The sense of unity around the place is second to none. And as I say, at the moment I'm working in the week, and I just can't wait for the week to be over to come to the pilot field. That's how I truly feel, and like what a way to live your life like that. That you're part of a football club that makes you feel like that way. So and that you guys have done that for me as well. I've never been so close to supporters in any club, and that goes a long way. So thanks Smithy, everyone. As I said to you, Chris, I'm always thanking you for the work you do as well, because you promote the club brilliantly in a shining light. You're always having a giggle on this podcast and that. And football's about putting smiles on faces. It's going to make me well up sharp, Gary. No, it's true, mate. It's about putting smiles on faces. You've only got one life, and you've got to go for the max and go for it and strive to be the best at whatever you do. Be the best supporter, and give it a go. And that's what I'm all about. So it's been fantastic.
Cheers.
Yeah, brilliant. I must say, I've got to agree with you about Chris. It's been great. No, the interviews through the season.
They've been brilliant.
The only thing he hasn't had with this diarrhea bug is any clean sheets for ages.
I knew the burial was coming. Yeah.
I'd like to thank everyone as well. All the clubs that Craig's been at. This is the one that's been more family friendly as well. And made us Craig's family, including myself, as a part of your family. Apart from Leon, who's sort of led me up the garden path a little while.
I had no phone signal.
No phone signal. I'll take you. Gary perhaps don't know about that. He said, "Give us your phone number. I'll take you down and show you Old Town at Hastings." So I gave him my number. Nothing. I rang him all night up till 2:30 in the morning. He ignored me. So
he's still trying to find that satellite now, can he?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Right, Gary, we've kept you for over an hour now. Has anyone else got anything to say to Gary before we let him go?
Thank you very much, mate.
Yeah, fantastic.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, cheers, Gary.
Thank you. Brilliant.
Thanks for everything you do, mate.
No, different class. It's, as I say, all about smiles on faces, and you've been immense as well. So I appreciate everything you do, and we go again next year as well. So we keep going. Well, get business done this year. That's the main thing. Then we'll go again. Yeah.
Let's enjoy Saturday first.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's my only other thanks is to Billy Wood for making Saturday all the beer is free. So,
it's an incredible gesture. It really is.
Yeah. Anyone else that's listening, then come along because all the beer's free.
Yeah.
You'll find he's probably just fainted somewhere.
It was last Saturday, wasn't
it? Yeah.
No, that was just that you never got around in, Leon.
Right, and Gaz, I think actually, you know what? I think we should leave it there. I'm a bit emotional now, right? Should we leave it there, or do you want us chaps to carry on and let Gary go?
No,
I'll happily go now. Then, yeah.
Well, no, you've had a long night, mate.
No. As I say, it's honestly, it's great, and it's fantastic to be able to talk about it. So we keep going, and I'll see you at the game Saturday, gents.
See you at the game
Saturday. Thanks very much, boys.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Yeah. Wow, that was good, wasn't it?
It was.
Was good. Yeah.
It's good.
Very good. Yeah.
Oh man.
He's a very impressive man.
Well, this could go into Dicko's tackle territory there, and I'm a bit worried.
Call it while we're ahead.
I love the mentality side of it. I find that all that quite fascinating, and I just think he's brought something, just topped up what Agatha had put there. And considering when he came in and what the mood was like when he came in, and how he seized it, and there's just there's just something, like I said, there's just something about watching the team. You think, like I said, all I can describe is like at Ashford, you think they're going to win this, and that little change is just, he's some guy.
I'd like to know Chris's thoughts, if you see what I mean, or how he feels about it. It's because he set the groundwork in there, didn't he? And right, Stevenage come along, and who wouldn't take that opportunity when you're offered it, if you see what I mean. But it's I'd like to know exactly how he feels, really. And I know he's obviously pleased and so forth, but
Malcolm, he's coming on the podcast.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
great.
just not. He didn't want to come on. Obviously, it wanted to be after we've settled everything, and so it's not anything to do about him. That's what he said. So
yeah.
But I'm happy to have him on. He's a top bloke. I don't care what anyone says about him going.
He's nice top bloke. At the end of the day, it's promotion, isn't it? We'd all take promotion in our work life, and so you can't hold anything against anyone wanting to better themselves. And Stevenage is bettering themselves, whichever way you look at it.
It's not even just promotion, is it? It's from essentially Division 8 to Division 4. Like, no one is going to begrudge him that, are they?
Of course they're not. No.
It was nice of Gary to sort of make a point to about mention Aggie, because I think you'd be a fool to sort of dismiss the hard work he put into the club the last, however, was it 3-4 years? Before he took over, he was sort of at the wrong, the bottom half of the table, averaging 300-400. Brought in a more attractive style of football that obviously helps with attendances. So
Well, there's no doubt about that, because that goes back to, remember when we were your typical sort of Boxing Day, Easter bank holiday, toddle down to the pilot field type supporters, and then suddenly you thought, hang on, something's changed here, something's different. And then it began to dawn on you what it was, and it was Agatha that had done that, and that was the catalyst for us. There's no doubt he's been instrumental in the whole thing.
Well, yeah,
and that's why I say all the players had a lot of time for him. I think the fans had a lot of time for him. And respected him, and that's why I just wonder how he feels, because he wasn't given the opportunity. Through life, so if you like, pandemic, and then getting that chance of promotion, that he couldn't finish what he started, and it's I just wondered how he actually feels within himself, and like I say, ultimately he's thinking great, and he's pleased for everyone, but within his heart, if you see what I mean, whether you think, well, I started that, I wish I'd been able to finish it, it's.
I think that was our only, whilst we all wished him well at the time and could see why he went, that was most of us, that was our biggest thought. Will he regret not finishing what he started?
Yeah.
But I think I can only imagine that the type of guy he wasn't in it for the massage of the ego, was he? It wasn't about him. He didn't like all that accolade, and so I'm sure he'll be pleased that he's the state of the club now, and knowing that he played a big part in that. But I just think as well, what an immense achievement for Gary as well. Like I said, stepping into those shoes, but also commanding such respect and doing so well with his team decisions, considering the people he's now directing, who he was shoulder to shoulder with as a teammate at the start of the season. It's great, isn't it? He's now got that respect of the team and also us fans.
I think it shows what a leader he was on the pitch, that he just so comfortably transitioned to manager, because sometimes going from being everyone's mate on the pitch to manager, quite a lot of people struggle with that, don't they? In all walks of life, and particularly sport. And he obviously commanded that respect already. So the transition was, I say, easier, but he'd already got that. So him becoming the boss, he was almost the boss on the pitch, even if he didn't have the armband.
I make you right, Andy. I mean, he earned that respect on the pitch, but it always makes you wonder how the likes of Jose Mourinho and people like that weren't good, and Arsene Wenger and that weren't good players on the pitch, that they get that respect as a manager.
That's an interesting feature in professional level. So many top managers were just below top level as players, weren't they?
Yeah. So how do they gain that respect? Gary's earned his respect on the pitch of being a leader, and being mouthy on the pitch, if you like, and being first to defend his teammates and that sort of thing. So he gained that respect on the grass. So a lot of the top managers haven't gained that respect on the grass. It's.
But sometimes because he's got John to do a lot of the technical work for him, it's obvious that John's technical input and his input during the games is huge, isn't it? Sometimes those managers who are, say, I don't know, they're a bit more Boffin-like, aren't they? They do all the thinking, and they've quite often got their second man is a more successful player who's the link into the players. So sometimes they have a different type of character working with them to make that link into the players.
Andy, do you think it could possibly be like Bobby Robson, Jose Mourinho at Barcelona? Or were you looking at that sort of possible Meany, ELPHICK?
Come on. Just to touch on those last points that were going on. So I think I can't vouch for it was, but there's a little interview with Agatha where he was saying about sort of implementing that, treating it as a professional football club at all levels. And so that legacy, I think, is probably embedded a little bit. I think the trust that the players have in Gary is probably a big factor as to why they've taken to him so well and why he succeeded, because they played with him as well as playing under him. They must trust him. I think that shows on the pitch, didn't it, on a Saturday?
Yeah. Well, it was like Aggie got the right people in, didn't he? He got ELPHICK in, he got characters, strong people in the dressing room, so he doesn't have to worry about that dressing room too much, because as Gary said, it polices itself. It's one less thing they've got to worry about. And as that, when he got Finn in, which was an inspiring, whoever suggested Finn was available, I mean, what an inspiring signing, that, that big hole that we had at the back. Remember when Gary wasn't fit, it was a worry. Well, it was a worry with me anyway. I'm far more emotional than John Wills, who said don't worry, but got Finn in, things settled down, and it's
astounding that Finn O'Mara was sort of swashing around looking for a club, isn't it, really, in the cold light of day? That's just incredible.
Yeah, and I don't, I think he was still, when he came here, it wasn't done and dusted, was it, really? But I think he fell in love with the place and the rapport with the fans, and knowing that he's actually come to a big club, I think it's a big drawing thing, the type of attendances we get, and that family feeling, that you're really part of something.
But it was scary because you didn't want him to do well, but you wanted him to do well.
Yeah.
Because you thought, well, if you're Folkestone and not, they're only one league ahead, and you think if you're doing really well, they're going to have you back. They're not going to let you come to us. But on the other end, you thought, we really want you to do well because we need you to do well.
Yeah,
I think Billy said similar, because I think when he came on loan, his transfer value wasn't the same as it was when we tried to sign him permanently, because he'd done so well.
Yeah, he did that bloody over a kick, didn't he? You wanted us to be 3-1 up and Finn O'Mara to score an own goal, didn't you? It was like that. It was like, let's get the 3 points, but you score an own goal, so focus and go, oh yeah, I'm glad we got rid of him.
And instead of that, Malcolm, he scores an overhead kick, and that does us financially.
Oh no!
What's he playing at?
Oh no! What are you doing?
Right, chaps. Right. George, you've been very quiet today. Robbie's been very quiet.
Been great listening to it. And anyway, we've got 2 big games at the weekend, so saving the voice, 2 games in 3 days. So, but yeah, it feels like Neil Cugley at Folkestone massively dropped the ball on that one, on Finn O'Mara. And it'd be lovely to see perhaps Finn O'Mara finish higher in the league than Folkestone next season. But
yeah,
one of those. Obviously, he's he's been in management, longest serving manager in English football. You don't get to do that unless you're doing a lot of things right. But I think it's quite clear. And chatting to quite a few Folkestone fans, they see it as a ball being dropped, really, letting him go. And at such a young age as well. Got all that ahead of him. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
George, he was only here 5 minutes, and you've given him a couple of songs already. I was just thinking. I was honestly walking around Morrison's yesterday, subconsciously, without knowing it, singing that Billy Wood went to Kent in his Citroen Zara, and I'm thinking, what am I doing? People looking at me funny.
I've had
a security guard turned up.
I've had a couple of Folkestone fans message me today because they've seen that tweet that just says in a Citroen Zara. And I said, well, I'm on it. I said, what does this mean? What does this reference mean? What should I tell them? Any ideas?
Nothing. Yeah.
Robbie, talk to us, Robbie.
I've just been enjoying listening. I mean, I've only recovered from my hangover today, but yeah.
Same. Yeah.
Because I was not in a good way.
Do you remember much? Because I remember we saw you. I think we saw you before the game. And
I saw you.
Yeah.
I don't remember the photo of the chair. I don't remember a lot of things.
You was the first one on the pitch.
Oh yeah, I was.
Final whistle when I looked over. You was already at the 18-yard line.
Yeah.
I thought, bloody hell, mate, you should do a bit of sprinting. That was you after about 10 pints, mate. You should take up sprinting.
Oh, yeah.
Then
I jumped over. The steward gave me a little shove. I'm like, why are you picking on me? There's 100 of us about to jump on the pitch.
He went for me afterwards. He tried to tell me to get off. I went, good to know, mate. And I went, oh, Billy.
Oh, well, if you can't remember the game, Robbie, I really wouldn't worry about it.
I don't remember the game, but I do remember the celebrations. And I feel a life ambition of leading a pitch invasion, so I'm happy.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be great on Saturday again. It's just looking around that pilot field when you've got that many people in there, and you know how I feel about the pilot field, but it's fantastic. It's a really great place to be.
On that note, Chris, what have they got lined up for Saturday? You know, like it's a fans' day.
No alcohol. We decided that we've been drinking too much, so we've all banned alcohol from the whole ground. We're all going vegan today.
Switch him off, Chris, can you?
No, what happened is they ran out.
Yeah.
We did drink a lot of
Malcolm's embraced cancel culture. He's cancelling Robbie. Right. As there's going to be the mascots. We've got all the mascots. I think 2 of your kids doing the mascots, aren't they, Matt? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So they're getting the whole full mascot treatment, full on. That's excellent. We did try and order a few other bits and pieces, but basically there's a football match. Enjoy the football match. There'll be beer available, Malcolm.
There's a trophy presentation I hear.
There might be a cake sale.
Really silly question. Presentation of the cup before or after the game?
After the game.
After. Got to be after.
There'll be a pitch invasion. No, sorry, we'll all obey legal rules, of course. So once we've obeyed legal rules on the pitch, I think they'll do the main stand, I imagine.
Have they got a stand? Have they got a stand, Chris? So that us in the main stand can see.
What? See, we're doing it in the middle of the pitch, weren't they?
No, they did it in the main stand before.
Yeah, every time they've done before, they've done the main stand.
No, they did.
In front of the directors, isn't it? Like that bit, they do it, yeah.
Oh, right near us, Andy.
You'll have a prime view there.
I'll be able to shake their hand like they do at Wembley.
Prawn sandwiches flying everywhere.
Be the Queen.
But
I was about to say.
The acoustics will be better if it's sort of in the stand area, won't it? You know, that's going to be fantastic.
I want that though. Yeah. Dicko and Anna was lifting up. The pitch just full of fans. Them lifting up and be a great photo.
Yeah.
Scott
More shenanigans in the clubhouse after.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not working the next day either. So.
Hey.
Nice.
Do you remember getting?
Do you ever really work though? You claim you do. Oh, free entry.
Hang on, when was the last time I got free entry? Anyway, go on, Leon. What are you saying?
As I say, on Saturday, do you remember getting James Hull to ring up or FaceTime his brother?
Oh, wasn't that brilliant?
Oh, I remember that. And he hung up. He hung up.
He didn't know. He stayed on the phone for about 9-10 seconds, and he had a face like fire, and like we were all singing at him. That was it? You were James Hull, and we were going up and all that. And then he's like, "Ooh!" I just turned it off. It was great.
I do remember that, and that's when
James
I got smashed in the face by a wine bottle when Kobe by mistake. Good fun.
We've also got an image with James Hull embracing no Crocs. He's gone back to sliders. The Crocs are gone.
Yeah, I got a photo of him, didn't
I?
Yeah. Chaps, I've got to make a move. I've got
to bloody edit this. Right.
Leave it
Saturday, guys.
Half an bit. Leave it all in.
It's just Saturday.
Great.
Windy.
See you, Windy.
Take care, Windy. Sorry, go on, Rob, before we go.
I was about to say, don't enjoy it. Just cut this last bit out where we throw Stoney under the bus and he's ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry. Stoney's not going to get buried. I might do some creative work there.
Bury him.
Windy, Leon, Malcolm, John, Andy, Paws Cat and Dog Rescue, Matt, that's a new one, and George.
I've just seen that.
Love you all, and I will see you at the game Saturday.
See you Saturday.
See you later.
See you at the game.
See you guys.
See you all Saturday, everyone.